Howdy y'all, this is Dwight and welcome back to my channel. In this video I thought I'd do a bench tour for the month of June and let y'all see how some of my projects are coming along. So first, start here right behind me. My Japanese maple is coming out nicely. I cut it back really hard and it basically defoliated it, which I believe in the previous video I showed that, but it is coming out quite nicely and I really like how it comes out with those red leaves. It's really pretty. So that is pretty cool to see that respond like that. Now on over here is my Chinese elm, and this is another one that I give a real hard trimming on because it was bushing out and I saw where it was starting to do a second flush again already, and it's responded and it's come out pretty good as well. I haven't did anything with the cork bark elm, it's just another variety of a Chinese elm to my understanding, but it is looking really healthy. I'm wanting to let it have this growing season to get nice and healthy before I do much else with it, since I just got it last fall, I believe it was. And then my Chinese wisteria, it did have some nice long shoots off I trimmed off, and it's starting to have a secondary flush come out, and one down here. If we see, I got a little stick propping it so that it will grow outwards a little bit instead of just straight up, but that is doing nice and healthy. Now over here on these benches over here, these are a bunch of things that I helped my mom. She started some seeds and then transplanted those in the pots, and I brought them out here. But starting right here, I have a couple little small azalea shoots. I got them from actually right back there against the shop. Azalea's right there in front of the woodwork shop. So I have those, and here is one of the oaks that I had gotten this spring right next to the second one. That one still doing good, kept its leaves. This one, the top of it basically just turned brown and died, and then a couple weeks later it brought off this shoot. If we look down in here, here's another shoot, and we can see real close right there, it's sending out two shoots, which I was a little bit surprised of. So that there might turn into potentially a little grouping, but it's surviving so far. Now this right here, when I originally got it, I thought this was one of those Weigelia bushes, and turns out that I was mistaken. This is what is the common name called is mock orange. You can look it up if you'd be interested, but it has some really nice white flowers that come out on it. So I mean, it's still doing healthy, so I'm still going to keep it around and see what happens with it. This is my little boxwood. It's getting some little flushes coming out on it, and so far it seems to be doing good in the new pot. I also decided to got a bunch of Rose of Sharon here on the property, and this one I thought was neat. Had the forked trunk. Of course I topped it off, and right here we're getting a new shoot coming out on it. And that's another one that flowers nicely, so be cool to see how that does. This here is my Easter bush. I just give it a trimming because it was getting really long and leggy, so I brought it back in, and it hasn't responded any yet. I just did that 1 or 2 days ago. Now here's another azalea that I got and basically topped, and it sent shoots off, and I'm going to let it establish a little better, and then I'm going to have to, of course, pick and choose what of those little branches that's bringing out that I'm going to want to keep and give it a trimming. But I'm letting it sprout out right now. And this here is my eastern red cedar. Over the winter time, I trimmed all the branches off and left this one here, and it sulked pretty good on me. But this section right here is still looking nice and healthy. This one is starting to come around, though this one has a fair amount of brown on it. So we'll see if it hangs in there or it continues to die off. I think this will be neat. Turn this into deadwood and have this branch like it made it through a strong storm or tornado or something other, and it was a survivor tree. Now that's all of my projects out here along these two benches. We'll come over here around the front of the greenhouse and I'll show off the rest of my projects. And firstly is this Yamadori maple, just a field maple from that was leaning over the shop out back. I've trimmed it down as well because it got a good 4 foot tall, so it seems to be happy, and it's getting some secondary flushes coming out on it as well now. Seems to be happy so far, so that's really neat. Now on the other side of the door, I have 2 Scots pines. I actually got them from Bonsai just right after my last video, I think. And of course I transplanted them there, and I'm trying to do root over rock with them. And this branch right here had a real weird curl to it, so I've just propped this stick in here to hold it out. So far they seem to be doing pretty good. And then behind it we have my oak small forest, getting second growth coming out on that one. This one's budding out, fixing to, and this small one has yet to put off any second growth, so we'll see how that does. But so far they're surviving for me. And this right here is my little apple tree seedling that I started from seeds from some golden delicious apples of all things. So that's pretty neat. Now I have taken quite a few cuttings. This one here is from the Chinese elm. I don't know if it'll live because that was actually fairly large. I crammed some in there. Some of them ain't doing too well. And over on this side, there's one of the Japanese maple cuttings. I just threw a couple in there. This one has buds on it. I don't know if it'll do anything. Of course, this is an azalea cutting, really large, but it has leafed out. So hopefully it'll root, and it's just not the energy stored in the trunk. And speaking of that, over here is this one. It's died off. In the last video, I think it was, I mentioned about being, at least my last bench tour video, mentioned about being surprised that that one leafed out, because it really didn't have roots on it. And it lasted maybe a month, and then the leaves wilted and fell off. And I'm pretty sure that's just because it was running off of the energy stored in the trunk, basically. So that one failed, which I'm not brokenhearted about that. I just did that just on a whim to see what would happen. Then over here on top of the water barrel, I have some more Chinese elm cuttings, and I did some long ones, and then I did short ones where it was basically one leaf. And the short ones are doing better. As we can see, these bright green leaves is new growth coming out from these cuttings. Not every one is doing that, but actually there's a decent amount that is, which is really cool to see. And to the left of it is some Weigelia bush cuttings, and I took them off of the Weigelia bush, double checked and made sure I was getting the correct thing. And this one right here is doing well. It's sending out this extra shoot. This one, there's right there the little bit green I'm hoping this will as well. And then there's one in behind it. Time will tell if that will do anything. But I've had those in there for several weeks, and at least that one is looking very promising. And now I've got 3 milk jugs with Japanese maple cuttings in them. I'll show this middle one. I'll go ahead and open it. As we can see, there's condensation on the inside of this, so it's doing well. And all of these are looking real promising so far, which I find exciting. Like that has grown up some, as well as this one. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be getting some of these to actually root, which will be really cool. And it seems like doing this milk jug like that, at least this time around, is working quite nicely. So there we have it. That is my June bench tour with all my projects. So I appreciate everyone that stopped by and took a look. Till next time, y'all take care.